team news, how are the team looking?
Yeah, obviously the usual Johnny is out, Bucks and Stephen Beattie are suspended, and yeah, we have a few. Obviously the 2 games have been really tough, the conditions have been heavy, and it's taken its toll, so you know, we're looking at a situation that we might freshen up tomorrow, so we're just going to wait, because after Tuesday night it was a hard game. We were in yesterday and this morning, so we're just assessing guys at the moment.
9 clean sheets in a row, that be so far? Good against the record? I think it's not.
There's one, yeah.
There's home, sorry. There's home.
There's one, one away, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, clean sheets are good. I'm happy with that. I don't, you know, I presume some of that's from last year, is it? Or?
Yeah, from last year.
Oh yeah, fair enough, yeah.
Last year's history.
Last year's long history. The main thing is, obviously this year I think we've played 5 home, so we've had 5 clean sheets, which is good. You know, we've had, as you can see, we have a relatively new team, certainly back 4, and but the guys have come in and done great. They've done really well, and you know, we need that. You know, obviously Johnny has been out for a long time. He's due back shortly, and Benno is literally back. So from that point of view, you know, we have a few guys coming in, but the lads have done great. And you know, as I always say, you know, I think even you look at the other night, and even against Pats over the 2 games, Mark hadn't really any save to make. We had a couple of skirmishes around the box, but no clear chances. So the lads have done well. And you know, when you keep clean sheets, you know, over a season, you know, if you keep a lot of clean sheets, you have a right chance of winning something, and so that has proved for us last year, and we need to do that.
Buzz lost 3-1 the last day. They'll be looking to get some points back on the board, I imagine.
I think
not going to be easy. Yeah.
I think the main thing for Buzz is that they were phenomenal against Shamrock Rovers last week. You know, the way they played. You know, even there were a lot of new personnel that they brought in. They were, you know, even at 1-1, they were in a situation where they went 1 down. They were in a situation where they could have easily been a couple of goals ahead. They played exceptionally well. Had a difficult game in Derry, but they were 1-1 and then a man sent off. So it was 11v10. You know, in the end, they conceded a goal in the last minute to make it 3-1, but it was a 1-1 game until they were down to 10 men. So, you know, Bohs are always. They have good players. You know, there's a lot spoken about Bohs. You know that they're part-time, but these guys are professional in the sense that they train 4 times a week and whatever. I do accept some of them have jobs, but it's no different than the old days. And when I said that before, Trevor and Keith Long and these guys, they all worked during the day and played at night and looked after themselves, and professional people look after themselves, and we've always gone to Bohs and always found it difficult. You know, and I think, you know, we look at last year, we were going for the league. We ended up with a 0-0 draw in a game where possibly we could have lost. So, you know, Bohs have fantastic players, and you know, we know that it's going to be a very, very tough game again tomorrow. If we have nothing but, if we don't play well, we know we won't take points, and that's the way we have to approach the game.
John, their young players are standing out as well, aren't they? Watts, Leahy, Stokes.
Yeah.
Oscar Brennan seems to be out of the team at the moment. He must be injured. I think they're really standing up, just like your own young players.
Yeah, well, but even at that, you go across. You know, they're back 4. They're back 3 of their back 4. If you look at them as Cornwell, Casey, and Leahy, they're all guys who just turned to 20. And you're right, Watts has been a revelation for them. Was fantastic last week in Shamrock Rovers. Got a fantastic goal during the week against Derry. You know, and they brought in JJ Lunny, another young lad from Pats, and they have young Stokes who's come back in, and they have the guy on the wing, Grant, who's still doing his leaving cert, who was phenomenal last week. So they have 5 or 6 young guys coming through who are really fantastic players, but still at the same time, you know, they still have the few wise heads like Corcoran, Ward, Morris, you know, guys, Pender, guys who have been around the block, and Supple and Goal obviously, but certainly they have brought through 5 or 6 really, really good players, and we know that they have pace about them, and we've seen this in their clips as well. They have a lot of pace, a lot of movement, and you know, when you're pacing your team, you're going to cause teams problems, and that's what they did to Rovers last week, and you know, we're well aware of that.
John, is Alan Bennett available for selection tomorrow night?
He's travelling with us, so we'll just see. He's being honest with you, probably if the weather had been kinder, he'd probably been back a bit earlier, but unfortunately down here we've got the worst of it, and the grounds are still quite heavy, and it's been disappointing from that point of view. So we would certainly have hoped that a couple of weeks ago the ground would be much firmer and be easier for him to train, but it hasn't been that way. But he's travelling with us, so he'll be in contention whether he'll start. I'm unsure.
Monday night probably likely. Or
Might be better, and then we'll have to we're weighing at the same time Friday league game, next Friday another big league game, so we'll decide about the League Cup after tomorrow.
And is it easy to make sure that the focus stays on this Friday rather than next Friday?
Oh, it's absolutely. We haven't even looked at, no one has even mentioned it. I wouldn't think so, because I think everyone knows it's been a very, very tough week, and we've needed to bounce back well, which we've done, taking 6 points, and the only thing is we probably haven't scored some chances that we've had, but still at the same time, by keeping clean sheets means that if you keep clean sheets, if you can sneak a goal, you're gonna. And I think the pleasing thing the other night is, even from where I was watching from, it looked like a game where on another day you could have left 2 points behind. And I think the positive thing for the lads was that, while we hadn't played as well as we can, at the same time, you have 10 minutes to go on a match at home. The crowd are a little bit frustrated. We had certainly missed 3 very, very good chances in the game, and Sligo were doing great to hang on for the point. That they kept going, and it was a corner kick that St. Pat's had. The lads defended really well. It was a goal kick, Mark hit it quick, and all of a sudden up the end of the pitch we 4 in the box within 30 seconds. The ball in the back of net, great finish by Jimmy. So another day you leave games like that behind you, but I think they keep saying with new players coming into the club, they understand what's needed, they understand wins like that is you have to dig out results, and once you're doing all the good habits and doing all the things right, generally you get rewards for that, and that's what we're hoping.
Did you feel a bit more powerless than usual up in the box?
Well, it's not where I want to be, but but at the end of the day, John Cotter is has been with me a long time, obviously through my Avondale days, and they keep saying he'll be a fantastic manager in time for this club, in my opinion, and so there was no worries. It's just from my own point of view. I suppose the only thing about it is that it's more, maybe at half time and that you'd like to get in, but the most important thing, John got the calls right, and I had no doubt he would, and we're all a happy family. That's the main thing.
With the tighter league, John, 10 teams, and the target on your back as double champions, like other teams are they're raising their game, aren't they, now when they come to Turner's Cross, or if they're at home against you. Like Dalymount Park has always been difficult. It
is, and I suppose at home we're finding that teams are quite happy to sit in, which we expect, and we said this from the outside, that this year, right from the very start, I've said that, I expect the home games in particular, the teams will come down and play for a point, try and hit on the counter-attack, and that's what's happened, and we've seen that, and that's why the last 2 games this week have been fantastic, because teams have done that, haven't created much, but it was up to us to take the opportunities, and we the other night we didn't take our opportunity till late, even though we had opportunities even in the first minute. Beanie had made a great save, but Bowes is a bit different, because Bowes at home, I wouldn't expect them to sit in, because they're always quite good against the top teams, and they always like to come out and show what they can do against the top teams. And you look at them this year, they've already beaten Rovers twice, and they were caused ourselves problems over the years, have always caused Dundalk problems over the years, so they're that type of team. But the main thing with the lads is that they're coached very well by 2 really good coaches, Keith and Trevor, and they've introduced a lot of energy in their team, so I'd expect tomorrow night that it'll be a much more open game.
John, sorry, just one other thing, so just on Brian Lennon yesterday, obviously 23 announcing his retirement, just if you had a couple of thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, I think the one thing it does show, and is that he was the first player that we sold in our history, I think, straight to the Premiership.
Yeah, it says so.
Okay, and we took great pride in that. And one thing everyone recognised with Brian was that he was at the time obviously great pace, up and down the line, great cross to the ball. But the main thing about the guy, he was modest, unassuming, quiet, really respectable guy. And you know, it's desperately disappointing for a player like that who would have gone to the highest level and has just suffered injury after injury over 4 years. But I think the one thing, you know, about Brian is that he's a very level-headed, intelligent person, and I think he's a type of guy that while he will be extremely disappointed, he'll bounce back because he's quite clever. He had done commerce in UCC, and I think he's a realist in the sense that while he'd be absolutely gutted, at the same time he understands, you know, that in a positive way that he needs to move on in his business career. And I suppose what it does show is that the pathway that clubs like ourselves are trying to do of keeping lads at home, do their leaving cert, go into college, try and get into the first team, and if you break through at 20, 21, 22, you have the shop window here that if you're good enough you'll get the move. Probably in this situation shows that, you know, Brian had been in college, he'd done his leaving cert, he comes from a very good family, and they'd kept him at home and kept him in college, and he came through the first team then and done very well and got his move. So it probably in another way might have been lucky that he has something to fall back on, whereas a lot of other players wouldn't. So you know, but the main thing about him, he's fantastic young fella, great guy we used to have around here, and while we're all disappointed that side of us gone, you know, I think at the same time, you know, Brian is clever enough and intelligent enough to know that you know, he'll have a good business career going forward.